So here we are at the thrift store outside. I'm getting ready to sort the scrap and everything so we can take it to the scrap yard. At the thrift store, you always get all kinds of scrap and junk and everything else. We try to keep everything we can out of the landfill as best we can, but you know, I'm no miracle worker. But it also starts a lot of hoarding where you keep stuff because you're like, oh, I might fix this, or I might fix that, or I might do this. And eventually it still gets thrown to the scrap. So, you know, it is what it is, or it gets thrown to the trash or whatever. But I wish today I was in New Jersey right now, but we didn't want to travel for 2 days in the weather and everything because it takes us 2 to 3 days to get there because I don't drive straight through and everything. But today is the 15th anniversary of Cop Out screening at Small Castle Cinemas with Kevin Smith and Tracy Morgan. So I wish I was hanging out with them. But instead I'm here tearing up my yard trying to get to work to scrap some metal and everything. So when my wife goes out to the yard, she's going to see that big old hole in the yard because I got stuck in the yard and tore up all the grass and everything else. So that's lovely, and the whole truck is covered in mud and everything. But so I figured I'd tell you some stories and do some scrapping and go from there. And if anyone has any questions, jump on in, and we're going to see how this facial recognition thing actually works and how good it does for me, because it's been dying out on me and everything. So I'm wondering if maybe that's the cold weather or whatever, because it's really nice out here now where we can actually get stuff done. So I'm gonna get these buckets out because we're gonna sort some stuff. I don't sort a lot of it. I don't get real picky into so many different things because I don't get a lot of copper, I don't get a lot of this, that, and everything. So I just sort it into aluminum, wires, and then just big old piles of crap. So I have a little pile over here that we're going to start working on. And I don't know how this got out here. That's actually was for something else, but it got left out here. When I brought it out, it goes to the DVD. So we got all these wires. A lot of people, they're like, strip them off and everything and make it straight copper. Not worth my time. So I just take it, and I take this stuff and throw it in a wire bucket. And it looks like some of it's even froze to the ground already. Or still, I guess you'd say, not already. So I just throw all that in there because there's never a shortage of scrap around here. I mean, we always got something going out, at least a truckload of stuff. Got pop cans all the time because, man, everyone's drinking pop, you know. So I have my kids save it and everything. Gas money here and there. You get a lot of money off the aluminum. You get about 30 cents a pound or something. I think for a while there it was down to about 26 cents a pound. So, you know, it takes quite a few just to get $5, but what do you do? And everything. But we got beer cans, pop cans, and all that other good stuff. This has got to be cut down for aluminum because I like clean aluminum. That's where you get most of your money. That dirty aluminum, they take off quite a bit for it. We got stuff frozen to the ground here. It shouldn't even be out here. Had a guy working on some things and he just left everything wherever it stood, I guess. Rubber hose, useless. We're just going to get rid of it. I'm going to slide, slip, and slide, and fall. So we'll get the bigger stuff, I just throw it in the back of the truck and don't care. And then the smaller stuff I'll put in the buckets here because when you do the tonnage and everything, we can just dump it out into the yard and just get rid of it and everything. The sad thing is, it's been snowing out there. I don't know if I want to go dump this Tuesday because then I can get stuck in the yard there too when I'm dumping stuff. So that could be a wow out mess there too. So we don't really want to do all that for it. So I just bigger stuff goes in there, right there. Get an aluminum bin here. Got some tin foil even. But then we just sort it out and get rid of it. But today is the 15th anniversary. So I guess next month I'll try to get out there though. If they have something, or the next time they have something, we're going to get out there and do something and everything. So who knows how that's going to go. Then tomorrow, I'm either going to clean out one of these apartments we have and get some stuff going so you can see the mess I got to deal with that people left me from helping and everything. Because we closed up for, gosh, 6 months and everything. Then we came back and started cleaning out stuff. And people were like, we miss you. We want you to come back and everything. But I had all the stuff out here at one time over this way. all this stuff used to be $1 each out here, and we had the honor system, and for years, and everyone paid. We didn't have a problem. I mean, yeah, you had a few idiots in the night that would steal some stuff, but generally you didn't have to worry about too much. But now, we went to, when I first went to meet Kevin Smith, we came back and they had wiped out our tables and trashed the place, and left me $3 in the door. So I was like, forget that crap, you know. So we picked it all up. We put it all in the trailer here. And we took it to the flea market, which was a good idea at first. My problem is my body's getting to the point where I don't like the flea market. So we went to the flea market and everything. And we busted our butts to get it together to go to the flea market. But the problem with that is, it was raining that whole weekend. If you go to Texas, you get 4 days at the flea market and everything, and you can do all kinds of stuff and everything. But when it's raining every day, all it does is destroy your stuff. It destroys your mind. It destroys everything. So you don't make any money, and you just lose your money. So we decided to go up to Missouri in the Ozarks. They had a 4-day thing there. And it showed it might rain, but it probably wouldn't rain. So we were like, yeah, let's go do this. Well, it had been raining before we got there, and the ground was so soft that when I pulled into the area, my trailer obviously had a ton of weight because it's a 20-footer, and it just sunk into the ground. We were stuck. So the first thing off, I had to call a tow truck and have me pull me out. So they came, pulled me out and everything. There went $100, which is not bad for the price of tow trucks, but it isn't great either because it's $100 I didn't have. So then, but I had blown a tire on the way in there, and I told him I needed a tire, and I didn't have time to go looking for one while I was there. So while I was there, he got me a tire, but it wasn't a heavy-duty tire. So unfortunately, after leaving, we got maybe 50 miles, and I blew that one out too. But I got smart because, you know, the weight's on the back of the truck. I took the front heavy-duty tire, put it on the back of the truck, put the rotted-out spare that I had underneath on the front of the truck, just to be safe and everything after we blew out that other tire. And I made it home, but we had a lot of incidents in between. So, like, when we were there, we were trying to clean up and everything. Well, I think the first 2 days we had an awesome time and everything. We got it all set up the first day, second day was good, third day was good. You know, Friday was great. Friday night was horrible because that's when the rain came in. I missed the bucket. Way missed the bucket. I don't know if y'all saw that nice MG that just went by. Okay, so we slept in our little makeshift tent with our mattress and everything. It was a canopy with some sides we put on it and everything. Problem is we were sitting downhill like this and it started raining. And when it started raining, all the water came down. So we were like on a floating mattress and everything. So you couldn't get up, you couldn't do nothing. There was water just coming down and everything. But we just stayed on the mattress, stayed fine and everything. Till about 3 in the morning when it started raining. I woke up and it was just pouring on my head. I had to move over. I went back to sleep and everything and woke up. We were soaked. We were freezing. We were soaked. But we were like, okay, that's fine. Things happen. Whatever. Let's do this. And everything else. So, I didn't bring my snips out. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're in here. Ooh. And everything. So we went through that and got that going and everything. Then we had another good day on Saturday. And then Sunday was horrible. There was no one even there and everything. So, got to find the right key here. Gotta get the key. So, yeah, I'm not okay half the time. But it's nice. I'm in a better mood now. I'm in the sun and everything's going good. So we, I forgot what I was saying. That's what happens when you get old and you get brain damage. So we, Sunday was horrible. So we started picking up and everything. Everyone started leaving and everything. And they said, oh, the next time's going to be great. So we thought about going the next time. So, but the only problem is we had some issues and everything. And so we didn't, after she had her accident and everything, we decided we weren't going to go. There's a lot of commotion going on over here and everything. And so we decided we weren't going to go back to the flea market, but then she had her accident and everything. We're closed on the inside today.
Okay. We'll just leave.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be open tomorrow, 12 to 5.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Have a great one. Sorry, looking for my snips and then had some people come up. So we the way she had her accident is we were so exhausted by the time we got everything picked up, because we normally have like about the amount of stuff that's out here. Let me show you how much stuff we have out here. We have, normally at the flea market we have about this much stuff out here and everything, but we had twice as much stuff out, so it took us forever to clean it up, because obviously with the rain and everything we didn't do as good as we thought we were going to do, so we had to pick all that up, and we were exhausted. We just didn't even, we weren't thinking straight, we were tired and everything, so we got back in the truck and everything and did our thing. I'm just going to put this thing aside and then find my cutters later. And I'm stuttering all over myself, but so we got everything together and got it all cleaned up, and she got in the truck, and normally when she gets in the truck, I have her I go around and I make sure her door's shut and everything, and I lock it. Well, we were so tired, I didn't do that because my door is broke on the hinge. It's kind of hanging where it goes like this, so it hits in the fender and everything. So I just normally lift up on it, shove it shut it, no problem. I didn't do that. I let her shut it, and I didn't go back and check it. So we're going down the road. We didn't even make it 15 miles out, and that door flew open, and it was like a vacuum sucked her out of the truck, and my heart just dropped instantly. So I stopped the truck and everything, and all I could think is, I hope she's okay. I hope I didn't run her over. I know, and everything. I got out there, and she couldn't walk and everything, so we got her up and got her in the truck and everything, and she didn't get run over, but the trailer tire smashed her right here, so it crushed her pelvis and everything, and it crushed her arm at the same time. And so her arm will no longer do more than this and everything. And so we're dealing with that and everything. So we still try to do our thing, but it's really hard because when you get cold and everything, it tears your body apart. It really does, and it just makes it miserable for her. So, and it took 3 months to get through that. She had to have the surgery, which took 7 hours. But when I was we got her, we kept going to these hospital places, and my daughter's like, why didn't you just call 911 and have them airlift her? Well, at the time, we didn't realize how serious it was. But by the time we got to the hospital hours later, they were like, you're lucky you got here when you did, because she was internally bleeding, and it had crushed this whole area. And the doctors, they all said, oh, it's going to be about a 3-hour surgery. And we're like, 3 hours? Okay. So, and she's like, but I want you here when I wake up. And I'm like, but I got to take the truck back, get the car, and get rid of the dog, because she had gotten the dog when she was out there and everything. And sadly, the dog was sick, I guess, and passed away not too long after we got it. But that's another story. And so that broke her heart on top of that. I mean, because by the time 3 months out, that dog was gone. It was a little puppy, and so it was traumatic on her, because that happened when we were in the hospital again, when she was getting the bars removed. Because what they did is they put the bolts and everything in here, and then they put these bars in, and if you look at the pinned video, in the video it shows the bars that were actually coming out of her and holding her together and everything, and she was in the wheelchair for 3 months straight, and they took the bars out because the infection started eating at her and everything, and they were afraid she was going to get sepsis. So I think 2.5 months in, we went to the hospital, and her dog had passed away while we were in the hospital. And so she was sad. She went down and had a cigarette and everything, and someone told her that she had a cigarette at the hospital and everything, but people were doing it all the time. So the one doctor that screwed up her arm was like, well, you're leaving against medical advice and everything else, and just made her life miserable. And she's like, I want to leave now and everything else. So then she got onto her infusions and everything, and this same doctor, oh, you left against medical advice. The problem is you can't sue over this stuff, because you got to have someone that will back you up. And in the medical profession, they back each other up, unfortunately. So it is what it is and everything else. So we did not do the flea market thing. We opted out of that and everything, because now I don't have the help I need to do that. So, and we were going to retire. That's a whole nother story why we can't retire and everything. So we are here doing our thing, just trying to get by. Some aluminum I need to take apart there. Okay. And so we're just trying to get by, doing our thing. But it hasn't been easy, the cold and everything, all this cold, winter and everything. It's really screwed up everything. So now that it's starting to warm up, we want to get out here, do some more stuff, get things together, get some more running and everything else. I got to go through all this crap out here and throw away, fill it. Every week I go through and I pick out stuff I don't think is going to sell, and I fill my dumpster and everything else. If there's not that much stuff out here, I'll fill the whole dumpster. I don't care, because this stuff here is stuff that we're done with. We don't care what happens to it to a point. I mean, yes, I'd like to get paid for it, obviously. But if you can't afford it, tell me and I will get you, you know, what you need and everything. As long as you talk to me, work with me, you know, don't come up in the night and steal half the stuff and then think I'm going to be nice about it, because I'm not. So we've had that happen quite a few times and everything. So we have a watch list that police have for people that trespass, because if you're going to be like that, I don't want you on my property, because if you're going to steal little stuff, you'll steal big stuff. You'll steal this and that. Well, people don't even mess with the scrap out here all the time, you know, because they know they're on camera. But they're still those idiots. Like we had one couple that would come up and they literally would fill a box each, put bags on their arms, grab the box and walk off. So I got the video. I didn't know who it was, but I took it to the police. Police said, "Oh, we know who that is. They go out every night and do this. We put them in jail about every 3 days. They get out. They get a free place to stay. They get out. They go back. And they just keep going back." That's a sad life to live and everything. But a lot of people get out of jail and they're like, "Hey, I ain't got no clothes. Well, can you help me out with some clothes?" And normally I have the bins out here for clothes, for the fill bag. And they'll get all that stuff and everything. So that's how that goes. But we try to keep all the scrap up and everything. And just keep scrapping stuff. Every little bit helps with everything. You know, if anyone has any questions on the store or scrapping or anything, just let me know. We're trying to build a community where people can watch and we can have a good time and chit chat or have guests and all that other stuff and everything. I teach you about thrifting and everything. I've been doing this for 35 years, buying, selling, trading, and all that stuff. But I always don't want to just stand here and not do anything. So I figure I'll give you stories of what's going on until someone actually has something they want to talk about. You know, we do a lot of... I got these from the pawn shop with things. They're just no drawers. So, man. Yeah, that was a week, so. So we just go through and try to do the best we can to keep stuff out of the landfill, keep it going. And I'll get this stuff all sorted out and everything. And then we'll take it in and get a little bit of money. But the sad thing is, I didn't think about it. The yard over there is probably soaked. And I'm going to be doing the same thing I did to my yard, tearing it up, getting all the mud and everything out. And everything. A lot of people in the town, they're like, "Man, he's got faulty scales." So we did a little thing there and we checked the weights of everything and took it over there, took it to the scales. And just to let everyone know in Okmulgee, the scales are actually on par, so don't have to worry about that because everything matched up, which was I thought was pretty cool because even I was wondering myself at times. So that's a good thing to keep in mind and everything. Anything metal that sticks around here for a while, we just get rid of it. We don't even stick to it. I mean, if it's in the dollar stuff or the fill bag, we're not going to hold on to it for very long. Because if you don't want it, we sure don't want it, you know. Everything else. So I just scrap it, even if it is something that's usable. I mean, that can be cleaned up and used, but it's not worth my time to do all that. That's the hard part of having a business like this. You have to decide. Pretty much, I don't have a lot today to do, actually. I got a couple dishwashers there that are no good. And everything, but other than that, most of it is... Usually I have tons and tons of stuff over here to scrap, but we just haven't been collecting up a lot of stuff lately. Haven't been going to a lot of sales, haven't been getting a lot of stuff. So, I just got a few things going on right now. Sadly, no one wants a dishwasher anymore. I mean, not these older ones at least. So they're going to get scrapped because no one wants them for $5, $10. And it's not worth me holding on to them, having them stay here if I can't get rid of them, you know. So I'm just going to scrap them and get them out of here. It's like I have these bun warmer here. It works. It actually was a friend of mine's out of his restaurant, but no one wants it because it's older stuff. So I just cut the cords off and scrap it. I don't waste my time of messing with the stuff like that and everything. I just got to keep moving on. And there's a lot of stuff to sort all the time. So I just try to keep it moving. I don't like to hold on to a lot of stuff. like this one dishwasher, I don't even think they make them full metal. Half of it's damn plastic, but I'm not going to sit there and take the time to strip off much of it. And if there's wires, I might, but that's about it, because honestly, the wires are about the only thing that's worth anything on the dang thing. So I will strip off that once I get it over there. But till then, I'm not going to pull the rest of it apart. It's just not worth my time for the amount of money I'm not going to get out of it. If there's any copper or anything, I might look for that and everything. Or brass or whatever, you know, you always look for that type of stuff. But other than that, it's just not worth the time. You just gotta keep going. Wish I would have got my crimpers so I could cut these cords off. I had a set somewhere. Can we go look for it? Yeah, we can go in a few minutes, but right now I'm just gonna get this over here. These things that you can take off, so I'm gonna pretty much I'll take the motor off of it and then take the wires out. But the rest of it I'm not gonna mess with, but I'll probably do that after I get off here. But yeah, I'll just take the wires and the motor off that, and then there's a little bit of money because you get some good money for the motors and wires and stuff. Where I make most of my money is wires, motors, and aluminum. Rest of the stuff, it's just normally tonnage. You don't really get too much out of it, but you get it out of your way and it keeps it from going into the dumpster. So that's always a nice thing. And since these have been sitting out here, they are no longer even usable, I don't think, anymore. I wouldn't want them, especially for food and everything. That's the fun of that type of stuff. I don't know why my keys are coming out of my pocket. And then we got this little bit of crap here, and I got a bucket there. I mean, I really don't have much here today. I've got a crib here I'm going to give away to someone probably. Or I'm just going to throw it away, I'm not sure yet. But that's how that goes. Looks like it's going to go into scrap because I left it out here too long and it got all rusted up. So I ain't going to give it, unless someone wants it, I'll give it to them, you know. I'm not going to go out of my way to do anything with it. It's not worth selling once it's rusted up and everything, and I'm not going to sit there and clean it, so. But if someone wants it, I'll definitely give it to them. I'll probably put it up front there at the store and just put a free sign on it and let it go. Because it's just not worth my time. But if someone can definitely use it, it's nothing wrong with it other than it's a metal crib and it's got little rust marks on it that can be cleaned off. But like I said, I don't clean a lot of stuff because it just takes too much time to sit there and scrub stuff off. So I'd rather just give it away sometimes. And that makes it good for some people that something. It's like the back of this one dishwasher, it's got some copper stuff on it. So we're going to get that off. It's like I could take these open and get more wires out of it. To me, it's not worth the time to take the wires out of that stuff and everything. And I got to hurry up and get stuff out. Don't really have a lot of stuff here scrapped, but there's a little bit. We're probably going to take a walk and go get something to clip these off in a few minutes. So I can get that thrown in there. But for now, we're just going to throw this up here out of my way because I got a whole bunch of crap on the ground over there, it looks like. And once that's all cleaned up, it'll look real nice and everything for a day or so. But you see this shopping cart back here. I don't know if you saw this shopping cart. This is the type of stuff people leave here all the time. I ain't seen a Walmart shopping cart like that in I don't know how many years, because they got them gray ones now and everything that are all, because they even got the gray ones going in the scrapyard anymore. When they remodeled, they threw away a whole bunch of gray ones. I don't think I've seen those since I worked at Walmart. I remember back when I worked at Walmart, they got rid of all of them when they started remodeling. And I don't even know where it came from around here unless it came from the scrapyard and everything. And someone just left it out here in the parking lot. They do it all the time. They leave carts all the time all over the parking lot and everything else. But out of all my carts, I've had one walk off. I used to let people use them, and they never brought it back. So now what I do is I put the ones that are left here, and if they say I need a cart, I just let them take those because they're all over town. I mean, if you go driving around, you'll see Walmart shopping carts all over the town. That's the fun of a small town. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, when I redid the store there, they put locks on them so you couldn't lock off the parking lot because it would lock the wheel instantly so you couldn't move. But I guess when they redid our Walmart, they didn't think we needed it, which I would think you definitely would. As many carts as I see around town. Those carts new are not cheap. You know, I mean, you can go to the scrapyard and pick them up on $5 and everything. But if they're brand new, they're probably not going to be there. But you don't want the brand new ones because then it looks kind of iffy. You know, so I remember I put the carts up for sale one time, and I get them from stores that gone out of business and all kinds of different stuff. And everyone was harassing me about selling these carts. They're like, man, you know you can go to Aldi's and get carts for $0.25. Yeah. I'm not doing that type of stuff, you know. Where they're like, oh, why buy it? Yeah, it looks like you went and got these from that store, this store, or whatever. I remember Big Lots. Sadly, Big Lots is going out of business all over now. But I remember when Big Lots somewhere went out of business years ago. A long time ago. I don't know why it went out of business or they moved or they remodeled. I don't know. But my friend's dad got a Big Lots cart. And at the flea market where we were at, they had bought out a whole bunch of those carts. But we had our name wrote on and everything, and they're like, that's our cart all the time. That's our cart. No, this is ours. We got it from the same auction you did. We just got one, and you guys got the rest of it and everything else. So we went through that argument all the time. But I was friends with the owner of the flea market. They knew where we got it, so they're like, that's theirs. Leave it alone. Shut up. So that worked out and everything. What's funny is it was... Their last name was Forbes, and it said Fobs on it. So I'm like, it's still ours. I don't care what it says on it. But as a friend of mine's dad had it for his shop, and I bought that shop out years ago. Sadly, he passed a few years after that and everything. But at one time, they had that whole flea market spot for one whole section because it was like a strip mall. And they had one of the whole stores in there almost for the strip mall at one time and everything. And that's a lot of work. I don't think I'd ever want to do that. That's just too much work for me. So you know, we go through, we've gone to, I remember going to storage unit auctions. All the time we go to storage unit auctions and everything, we would buy out 20, 30 auctions or units. And I remember every time people are like, stop buying all the units. I'm like, well, if you want them, bid, because they were only going for $100 to $150 a unit. So if you want them, you're going to have to pay for them. I'm not letting a 10 by 10 unit just stacked full of stuff, really cool stuff, go for dirt cheap that no one else wants to bid on, you know. I need to get stuff for the store and need to do that. Problem is since COVID, you can't even get the deals you used to. Everything's gone online and all that fun stuff. And now you got to get on the big storage units and get pictures of the unit. Which, you know, it don't matter. You know, a lot of people are like, well, now they're probably going through them. They were probably going through them before when they cut the locks. So, you know, that's how that is and everything. So, if anyone wants to throw in a conversation or anyone out there ever been to storage unit auctions, got a conversation or want to tell about something they got, that'd be cool. I mean, we bought one unit for $400. It was full of all kinds of military gear, I remember. Me and my friend split it between our kids. And they had uniforms, backpacks, you name it, they got it. And everything else. Now, I remember I bought one unit, I think I paid $200 for it. Everyone thought it was total trash. I got it out. It had those $1,000 breathing treatment things in it, you know, where you, not breathing treatments, but oxygen bars, where you put the thing in your nose and it has like a the oxygen bar where you put it in and it has like different flavored oxygens. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that. And they would sell it for like $1,500 each online. And I don't know where they use it. I never got to use them and everything. I took them to an auction. I sold them. I think I got a couple hundred each out of them. Never tested them. Never did anything. Didn't really care. But, you know, later on you start thinking about things and you're like, oh, that'd be cool to have, you know, if I could have done this or that. But they had all kinds of brand new shoes and everything, Birkenstocks and all kinds of stuff. And they had the receipts for all that stuff new in it and everything else because it looked like a bunch of trash. On front, it was a bunch of hangers, a bunch of crap looking things. When I get in there, there was these reclining $250 lounge chairs for outside and everything. There was shoes and all kinds of, there was a salon stool, all kinds of stuff. I think for that $200 that no one wanted, we made like $2,500 off quick sales. So I like to do quick sales. I don't like to sit on stuff for very long. I want to see it go. I don't want to sit on it. Unless I think it's really cool, then I'll be like, no, I'm going to get this price for it because I know I'm going to get it. And, you know, but most of the time I still work on it and still get rid of it cheap. But we've gone to quite a few different auctions and everything. I miss it because now my wife, she's not in the condition to do all that stuff. And I just miss going. But what do? You know, you just keep going and do the best you can. And it's hard to get help anymore. We used to have lots of people that were willing to go and everything. We pay them, you know, per day or whatever. And we normally work a few hours. But nowadays, you can't even get anyone to go. No one wants to work. No one wants to do it all. So, and then half of the problem is when they're loading it, if you're not there watching them every second, they're filling their pockets, they're hiding this, they're hiding that in a different box. So when they get back to the store, when we unload, they know where to find all the good stuff. And I've lost computers and tablets that I knew were there. Video games and all kinds of stuff because when they're helping me unload, they grab all that stuff. So I just don't really have a lot of people help me because of that and everything. You know, if you can get a good network of people helping you, you can really make some money and everything. And if I wasn't paying them, I could understand that more. But these people actually had apartments upstairs that I let them have, and I would let them do this or that. And I pay them on top of that and everything else, and they still do that. But a lot of them. You know, I like to help recovering addicts and everything. And the problem is, I would say 90% of the time it bites me in the ass because something happens, they get the money in their hand from the store or whatever, and then they start trading off my stuff and everything else, and I just start losing money left and right. And the problem is until I can verify something, I will not accuse something of something. But once I know 100%, we're done. It's just over that quick. It's like the last guy I had working for me. He was stealing so much stuff. He was doing all kinds of stuff. But once I knew what was going on, I took his keys and I was like, we're done and everything else. And he's like, well, I'm not leaving the apartment, you know. And so I had to evict him and everything, got him evicted and everything else. But there's a lot more to that story and everything else. It was a horrible story. But I'm going to tell one of these days when I go down to the house that the people got killed in, and I'll tell you the story about that too and everything. We've got a lot of murders in this town. There's a lot of deaths going around. I don't know if y'all heard about the salvage yard murders where the guy had the salvage yard and the guys were going out and I guess they were going to steal some catalytic converters and stuff, and they went out there and I guess they've done this many times to him, and the thing is they're saying that these guys were running away when he shot them in the back and everything, and he took them and threw them over the bridge, the bodies. They cut them in 3 pieces or something, cut their heads off, stomach, and yeah, it was disgusting. And threw them over the bridge and just threw their bodies there and left them and everything else. So I just don't see how you think you're going to get away with that. He's 70 years old, still sitting in the county right across the street from me right here and everything. And those kids, they were all younger guys, I think under 25, 30 years old, and they had started families, but I watched them all grow up and everything, and I knew these guys, not totally personally, like real close and everything, but I knew them, and I've dealt with them before and everything. And one of the guys was here 2 days before that and everything, and yeah, his girlfriend come looking for him, and all kinds of different stuff, because they couldn't find him, and yeah, it's just horrible, the stuff that goes on. So they did a lawsuit and everything, and I guess the families took over the yards and everything, and they're trying to scrap out all that stuff and get rid of it. I know there's another guy that was working for me. Him and his wife were working for me. And there was another guy that was out here. He went riding by one day, and they said, no, that guy molested my child and everything. I'm going to kill him and everything else. We got in an argument, and they moved out. And 3 days later, this guy was found dead in an apartment here in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. And everything. They never did tell what happened to him and everything. But we have a lot of craziness around here. Drugs play a lot of part in the murders. And that's like there was another guy. He had the girls staying over at his house and everything. And he had his family there. And up in Henrietta. And he killed all the kids there and his wife and everything. And he was a registered sex offender, had gotten out of jail and everything. So it's crazy the amount of stuff that happens in these small towns and everything. You can hide a lot of stuff, but the light, it'll come to light eventually, and everything. And then there was another gal I know, her boyfriend disappeared, and they found him over in Muskogee in his truck dead, and they think it was a drug deal gone bad and everything. I just can't get over all the death that I see around here and everything. And you got to be careful who you run with and who you betray, because people are crazy nowadays. They will take your life over something stupid. I mean, I know people that there used to be a joke going around, man. You buy anyone a pack of cigarettes and a beer, and they'll do anything for you. And I don't think that's a joke anymore. I think that's similar, because I've had people be like, "Hey, that guy made you mad. We'll take care of it. Just give me $20." What you gonna do? So I try to stay away from that stuff. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get into law. So I try to stay square of all that stuff. But drugs are really destroying the world we live in, and then our politicians are destroying our world too. I don't trust a single one of them politicians. Just don't do it. You can't trust them and everything. So you just hope for the best and do the best you can, because it's a crazy world out there. So we got most of that done. Got a lot of little scrap. Don't have a lot of big scrap today. So you just gotta be careful out there who you associate with, what you do. That's like before I met my wife. I dated a crazy psycho, and she tried to get me put away for stupid stuff and everything. And she just was stealing all my money and stuff for drugs and stuff like that. And tried to get rid of her. She kept coming back. And so eventually I just had to say, get on. And I remember I got married to my wife. She come back, and I was like, get out of here. I don't want nothing to do with you. Go away, you psycho. And so she did. And I hadn't seen her since. I think we saw her once at Walmart not too long ago. And we were like, oh, that's lovely, But she hasn't bothered us since. But it's just hard with these psychos, some of them. That's the type of stuff I didn't want to get into. So for a while there after my divorce, I didn't date for a while because of these psychos. And then I got stuck with one anyway, so jumped out of that real quick. But it took me a little bit because, things happen. What do? You just keep going at it and do what you can. I keep hoping to be able to get better, but right now, I'm not sure what to think is coming. I'm not sure if we're hanging on the cusp of the end of the world, or if it's going to get better, or what's going to happen, It's just one day at a time. That's all you can do. Just take it one day at a time and keep going. Don't give up. Don't let it get to you, and just keep going, because if you don't, you'll sit there worrying yourself to death, wondering what's next. And that does no one any good, So the best thing you can do is get out there and just go at it and keep doing your best, and don't give up. Just keep going. I don't know why that was thrown in there. Now it's all dirty and nasty, so it's can stay in there now. Probably someone trying to hide it for some reason. Who knows? But you just can't give up on everything. I mean, I've been working on this dream for years, and we were done with it. Now I feel like I'm back at the beginning, starting all over, redoing everything. But I'm also ahead because I have both my buildings paid off, and I don't have to do half the work I had to do. But I have to get things in order, put this together, put that together, clean out all this storage back here. I've got some maintenance to do on the buildings and everything else. So I work. That's the fun of owning your own business. I work 24 hours a day, it seems. But no, used to be I'd work 20 hours a day half the time and sleep about 4 hours a day and just keep going and everything else. And I was never on anything when I was doing that, but I've been accused of stuff like that. But I'll take a test any day because I don't care. You ain't going to find any of that go-go juice in me. I don't agree with it. I always growing up, they're like, oh, all these overdoses of heroin and all that other stuff and everything else. I think the biggest one was John Belushi when he overdosed. That had a traumatic effect on me for some reason. I was only 10 years old, but it stuck with me. And so when people were going out and doing the parties and drinking and having a good old time before they were 18, I was always sitting there, not drinking, watching everyone. And I'd be counting it down. I'd be like, okay, how long before the cops show up? And they always show up between 15 minutes to hour and a half, somewhere in there. Because sometimes they follow us up there and they know we were up there. And other times they just show up. Like one time, Dave's like, how'd you find us? They're like, well, someone reported a whole bunch of cars following each other. That's a dead giveaway. I remember when we were up on a hill one time. My friend had his truck up there. And he took like 10, 12 different people up there. And I was in this car with 2 other people. And he saw the car, police come up the thing, and he's like, oh shit, those are cops. So he throws me his keys, and he says, take my truck home. And everything else. So I put the keys in my pocket. And they go running down the hill. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. I guess got restricted. I guess I said I'm talking about drinking or everything, so I shouldn't be talking about that. But we were having a party and everything, and so we would do all kinds of stuff like that. And they go running and everything, but they were asking, "Whose car is that?" And I was like, "Oh." And so how did you get here? Must have been that truck there. I wasn't going to take off, put myself and get in trouble. So eventually they just left and everything, and we didn't have anything on us, so they just left and let us go. But that other stuff. So it is what it is. You just got to watch what you do. So I can't talk about too much of that story because TikTok just told me to shut up, pretty much. So that's the day I have, and that's pretty much how it's going and everything. So I'm going to get off here and finish up this and everything, and then go from there. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe. Glad y'all stopped in and everything. So thank you much. Y'all have a great day and stay safe. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Just trying to get this going. Have a good one. We'll see you later. I'm going to get this cleaned up and everything. There we go.